What is up, guys? In this video today, it's going to be on how to cut down to 12% body fat even with a busy schedule. So going into more of creating systems based on your fitness and your schedule, making sure that you can still execute plans and make the best progress you can, regardless of what you're doing with your work, whether you run a business, whether you have a high demand job, whatever the case may be, making sure that you can create a system that's very easy to follow, very repeatable, so it's just the best possible approach for your fitness overall. So let us dive in. This is my backstory, so giving you guys a little bit more of a picture on what I used to do, a lot of mistakes that I used to make. So back in 2024 and 2025, I used to work in sales. This is when I first dropped out of school. If you don't know my story, I was in college for a bit, for a year and a half, dropped out to work in sales. I was working 12-hour days, Monday through Saturday, so 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, just grinding on work, just doing everything, working pretty much all day. My days would just be gym, then work all day, and then sometimes hang out with friends, be with family, whatever the case may be. And then Sundays would be my off day, so taking some time off there. But really the main thing that, this person had in the past was I had the consistency. I was always showing up to the gym, like never falling off the gym in my life, but I didn't have a proper plan, a proper system to follow. Even when I had, all the time to go to the gym, like I was still making sure that was a priority for me, but it wasn't structured in a way where I was making the best progress with the things that I know now and teaching you guys with my coaching as well. So the result from this was very frustrating. I remember this is probably one of the most frustrating periods in my fitness journey. I was always losing muscle, just losing a ton of progress, and then trying to gain it all back very fast and getting really impatient with my progress, trying to add more to everything I was doing. So always showing up, but doing harder workouts, more drop sets, more reps, longer workouts in the gym. Didn't really have an approach to my nutrition. I was just trying to, getting in calories when I thought I should bulk, and then just crashing calories, adding more cardio. Didn't really have a, good understanding of what to do, but I was still showing up every day, which is kind of the frustrating part about it, because if I can go back in time, teach myself now what I should do, then my results would obviously be way better like I do now. So basically, the approach that I take now, obviously I work with you guys with my fitness coaching business. This is what I do now. So I'm able to spend less time on my fitness. Truly, it's very minimal approach. I'll show you guys what I do, but it's just focusing a lot more on the highest leverage inputs. I'll show you guys what that looks like, and getting way more results. So I've been going to the gym for over 5 years at this point, but I haven't truly unlocked that optimal growth phase, you could say, the optimal progress, up until a year ago when I started truly doing fitness coaching and started working with you guys, applying my principles to myself, which obviously gets the best results. I've made by far the most progress out of any time in my life, even after 5 years. It's not really about how much time you've been going to the gym, but how much time you've actually been applying the right systems. So if you've been going to the gym for a while, you can still unlock so much more progress if you start applying the correct things, start having the proper programming, you have the right inputs into your days. That's how you actually get the best results. So my focus now is way more on precision, knowing the exact highest leverage things to do, and not really focusing on more effort, more time. It's very, I wouldn't say basic approach, but it's a lot more not fundamental. What's the right word? It's just more precise on what actually moves the needle, instead of doing more effort that actually doesn't really get you anywhere, which is what I used to do. So really the main mindset that I have now is, like it says here, focusing on the highest leverage inputs and not doing more effort. So I kind of mapped out the 3 main pillars of fitness, which is going to be your training, what you're actually doing in the gym with your lifting, and then cardio/steps. Then nutrition, what you're eating throughout the day, what your meals look like with your calories, macronutrient structures, getting the micronutrients in, timing insulin spikes correctly, having the proper insulin sensitivity. You can play around with this with your nutrition. And then there's a lot more that goes into this as well. If you see my other videos, I've dived a lot deeper into nutrition as well. And then recovery as well. So sleep is going to be the main one. And then nutrition and training also tie into recovery. So having proper nutrition will help your recovery, of course. And then not overtraining, having the proper training demand, which is one of the mistakes I used to do, was always pushing harder in the gym. It's not always the best approach. Taking a step back, focusing more on high intensity and low volume, which is going to cut your lifting time down, and you're going to have more effective, more potent workouts that you can get from that. So focusing on these three pillars, and really the main thing that you need to focus on is the training and the nutrition. Like sleep comes pretty much as a byproduct. I'll get into a later bit on how to approach it specifically. But what you're spending the most time on is truly just in the gym. Like you're lifting. For me now, it's really just 45 minutes to 60 minutes, like 45 minutes to an hour in the gym. Pretty short workouts, just focusing on high intensity, the most effective exercise that I can do for my specific goals, which is what I help you guys with as well. Like mapping out everything when it comes to your training, optimizing that for your schedule and your goals, your nutrition, what your meals look like, what foods you should be having at certain times in the day based on your schedule, when you're going to the gym, anchoring those around your training, and then getting into sleep optimization, hormone optimization, all these things. I'll cover this in a little bit as well. But really the main thing is like the highest leverage inputs, having the applied knowledge, not more time and effort. Now you just program the applied knowledge, program the highest leverage inputs into a repeatable system that you can just follow day after day. Just basically just systemize it so you can just basically do the same things, have the highest leverage things, and over time you will make progress depending on what the goal is. Losing body fat, gaining muscle, whatever the case may be. I know for the video it's focusing on losing body fat, so that's really all you need to do. So just set and forget your plan. Like the main approach is to, like I said, create a repeatable system, set your plan, and basically just forget it. Just follow the system as the plan says. Fit all the pieces together with training, with nutrition, with recovery to get the most optimal results. So just have the knowledge of what to do, plan your training and your meals according to your schedule, and then just execute over time. So these are some changes that I would make for myself, just kind of what I shared with you guys a little bit earlier. Having a more systemized approach to my fitness. So biggest mistakes I used to make back in my approach when I used to work in sales here. So in this time, I was waking up around 6 a.m. I'd go to the gym by 7, and then I'd try to get everything done with my fitness in the morning so I can just focus all my day on working, just getting the most inputs and execution with my work as possible, and then just repeat that over time. So I had the consistency of showing up, but I just didn't have the proper knowledge of what to do. So mistakes I used to make was lifting and cardio in the same session fasted. So this is probably one of the biggest things that allowed me or caused me to lose muscle in the first place was number one, not having a pre-workout meal, having no meal structure. I didn't really know the proper way to have a pre-workout meal, the post-workout meal, which is arguably the most important meal for muscle growth, muscle recovery, just having the proper inputs in place, and then the outside meal as well for extra calories, nutrition, and just hitting your nutrition goals for the day. Also doing way too much lifting and volume. Like I mentioned, I used to be in the gym for sometimes even almost like pushing 2 hours, usually averaging like an hour and a half in the gym with my training, with my cardio. It was just so much at one time, and it was just causing me to just not make any progress. Like you couldn't really recover from what I was doing, especially with tying into the training and the nutrition. I just didn't have the proper approach, didn't have the right understanding of what to do. And if I could go back, like I would make so many changes, which I'll get into in here. And also ignoring hormones as well. So my diet back then, I was kind of doing a carnivore diet because of the mental clarity. Like working in sales, you want to be really sharp and focused on your work. So I found that low carb, ketogenic carnivore diet was really good for mental focus and mental clarity, but it wasn't really good for fitness and building muscle, losing body fat, like having the best energy for the gym specifically. I would change that now. Like I would definitely incorporate some carbs, having more micronutrients, more balanced approach, but having the right structure and the timing just to get that right with my schedule, with my work and my training, just all ties into a system that I was missing. And the main thing was just not repeating the system to follow, just kind of winging it, not really knowing what I was doing, versus what I would do now if I could go back and coach myself. I'd definitely add a pre-workout meal in the morning, have that ready, because I was waking up at 6, going to the gym by 7, so don't have too much time to prep in the morning, but it's having that ready so I can just have my meal, have the energy for the gym, have the glucose spike. Blood glucose is available for the gym workout. Then post-workout meal, having high carbs, high protein, low fat, just having the right structures that I teach. Then the outside meal as well, so having lower carb, higher fats, and then still hitting the protein, hitting all my nutrition goals, focusing a lot more on micronutrients and having the proper foods to support my training that I was doing, and obviously proper hormone optimization. And then with my training, cutting back on the volume. So like what I do now, like I mentioned, it's a lot more shorter workouts, more intense, more focused on progressive overload on the right movements, knowing how much volume to do, pushing myself to failure, which cuts down your workout time. So I'm not really spending too much time in the gym. And then, like I said, optimizing hormones, a little bit of lifestyle recovery, and then a big part of this is nutrition as well, getting in the micronutrients and little biohacks that you can do as well, which I teach you guys, my clients as well. But then also, the main thing is just kind of the opposite of winging it, is having a design program based on my schedule. So like when I was going to the gym, anchoring these meals around my training, anchoring this with my work blocks as well, and just executing this day after day. It's not going to be like too many variables in your approach. You just want to have the same system, following that over and over and over again so you can get the best results. Having consistency in place is going to be by far the most important thing. So a day example, this is kind of what I do for my clients. You guys watching this video, if you guys want to work with me, you can schedule a call. We can go over what this looks like for you. But taking your schedule, knowing exactly what your days look like, plugging in the inputs based on the end outcome that you want. So for example, if you want to get down to 12% body fat, then creating the system and the proper inputs with your nutrition, with your training, with your recovery on your schedule to make the best plan for you. So I like to use Google Calendar. So not specifically for my clients, giving you more of like flexible like frameworks, you could say, if you know what that looks like. But for myself, I like to use Google Calendar on knowing what my wake up time is, morning habits, pre and post workout meal, training time, work blocks. So always planning my wake up time, which is something that everyone should have. So consistent wake up time, have a work block time. So knowing when you're actually going to do your work, whether it be if you're running a business, working a job, like high demand job, whatever the case may be, you know what time you're working when you're actually doing that. And then structuring your gym time. So usually just 45 minutes to an hour. And then anchoring your meals around the gym. So you can plan your pre-workout meal, post-workout meal, and then outside meal depending on what your schedule is. So like if you train in the morning, if you train in the afternoon, towards the evening, it all depends on the schedule. That's why it's very customized to you guys, where you actually need the actual approach that you guys want to take. But making sure that all this plays into as a system, like I said, the nutrition, the training, and the recovery, all tying it into your schedule and making a system that you can just repeat over and over and over again. So one of the most important things as well is mastering sleep. So by far one of the most important things for optimal, like obviously training, and then for your progression in your work as well. So obviously you're going to have more energy, more recovery, you're going to feel a lot better, and truly just getting the most out of life with your work and with your fitness as well. So main things I like to focus on is, again, consistent wake up time, making sure you're blocking this off and just following this very consistently so you can actually get the circadian rhythm on point. It's going to be by far the most important thing, is just waking up at the same time every day, having a routine-based day, so having the right inputs at the same time. So going to the gym at the same time, eating your meals at the same time, kind of training yourself to fall into that circadian rhythm. So your body's not having to guess what time of day it is. It just knows what's going on. It always has that 24/7, 24-hour clock. And it just knows when to get tired, when to wake up, have that circadian rhythm in place. And also following the sleep protocol that I give you guys. So focusing more on your environment with your sleep, where your bedroom looks like, supplement stacks, little things like little biohacks that you can do with your sleep as well. Getting into the nitty gritty of getting good sleep. So that's really it. Main thing is just being consistent with the right inputs. Doing the right things over time is going to get you the best results. For me in the past, obviously I didn't have the right, I had the consistency, but I did not have the right inputs over time. So it's a two-part equation. Like it's very simple, like kind of sounds obvious of you want to do the right things over time and you're going to get the best results. But in practice, you really need to know what that looks like. Make it as easy for yourself to actually follow that plan. And that's really what I do for you guys with my coaching. So doing the right things over time, creating a system to make it easy, and then progression kind of becomes a game. Like fitness, like I said, it's not too many variables. You're just doing the same thing over and over, and you're just making progress on that same plan. It's kind of like a game, like you're leveling up your character in your fitness. So for me now, like I've been following a plan for quite a while now. I think I have pretty good results with my fitness, making the best progress day after day, week after week, just obviously always improving, and I will be improving because I know the best approach to take with fitness. That's what I do exactly for you guys. If you want to take the guesswork out, then feel free to schedule a call. This is what I really specialize in, is giving you guys the best plan, like following all the structures that I teach with all my nutrition, all the things that I teach my content, making it very personalized to you guys with your schedule, with your goals, making sure you're making the best progress. So if you're interested in that, you guys can schedule a call to work with me one-on-one, making it as easy as possible to do this, making sure you're making the best progress. You do not want to be that guy to show up consistently, not have the right plan, and waste months or even years like I did in the gym. Like I said, like I've been going to the gym for over 5 years, but it hasn't been since the last about year, maybe year and a half, that I've truly made the best progress, like had the right inputs in place. So that is really it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, you can also DM me on Instagram or leave a comment on the video. But yeah, other than that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.